Hi, welcome to my Doctor Who review special. I heard lots about one particular episode that's in season 12 of the new era. There was a black woman in that episode who claimed that she's the Doctor. And my theory is that this Doctor is between the second Doctor and the third Doctor. So between the second and the third Doctor, it was a gap, a hole. Between there gonna be a season. But that season was never shown, was never released in any parts, because they didn't create that season. They only have the scripts and pictures and all the other stuff, but they didn't make that season. That's a shame. So the woman who are in this episode claim that she's the Doctor, and she has a blue jacket on. And as you remember from the first episode with John Pertwee back in the 70s, when he comes out of the TARDIS and falls down on the ground. And he also had a blue jacket on. So my opinion is that this woman who are introduced in Doctor Who now, the black woman, is the Doctor between the War Games and Spearhead from Space. Between there is gonna be the black woman. She's in that season. So I heard that you all out there have different opinions about this. Some think that she's maybe the first Doctor before William Hartnell, but that's not my opinion. My opinion is that she is between the second and the third Doctor, between there. So I haven't seen the entire episode yet. I only watched a couple of clips on YouTube, and I heard lots of other people talk about it, and they have different opinions of this episode. And in a short while, I will get the DVD or Blu-ray with season 12. I'm expecting it to arrive very soon, but I'll have to wait a little further because it hasn't been released yet until next month in March. So I only watched a couple of clips from episodes, like the Cyberman episode. That episode was exciting to watch, but not all of it. I only watched a little clip. So I can't wait to watch that episode with the Cyberman, because I'm a huge fan of Cyberman and the Daleks. Because when the Daleks and the Cyberman comes on in that episode, it's lots of action and it's lots of entertainment, and the Cyberman and the Daleks kill many people and all that. But in other episodes with Doctor Who, you don't see lots of killing. No, you see Doctor Who help people in need, and you see the companion like Sarah Jane. Yeah, you remember Elizabeth Sladen. She was awesome, amazing, adorable back in the day. And she was the first companion I was introduced to when I saw Doctor Who in the 80s. And the first Doctor I was introduced to was Tom Baker. And back then I thought that Tom Baker, he is the only one who plays the Doctor, because I didn't see no one else play the Doctor. I only saw him. So I thought that, oh, Tom Baker is the Doctor. But later on, a couple of years later on, I found out that there was another who played the Doctor, called Paul McGann. And then in the 90s, I was introduced to the second Doctor. That was Paul McGann. And then I saw that, wow, 2 Doctors, Paul McGann and then Tom Baker. And then in that movie, Doctor Who the movie, you saw also another Doctor, Sylvester McCoy. So I was introduced to first Tom Baker, then Sylvester McCoy, and then Paul McGann in the 90s and 80s. And later on, at the end of the 90s, beginning of 2000, in the beginning of 2000, I was introduced to another Doctor called Patrick Troughton. And the first episode I ever got with Patrick Troughton on DVD was Tomb of the Cybermen. That was the first episode that I watched with Patrick Troughton. And the second episode I got with Doctor Who, with the Tom Baker, that was Robots of Death. Yeah, that was the first episode I ever got on DVD with him. So those first 2 Doctors I got was Tom Baker and Patrick Troughton. Those 2 I got on DVD first. And then later on, I was introduced to the 9th, the 10th, and when I was introduced to them, I searched the internet and found out that there were other people who played the Doctor from the 60s till 2005. So I decided to get those episodes. So, as many people do, I download season 2 of the Doctor with David Tennant. That was the second Doctor, come out in 2006. I download every episode each week because I wanted to watch David Tennant. Because when Doctor Who aired on Norwegian TV back in 2005, there only was season 1 they shown. So when the season 1 ended, it ended in a cliffhanger. You saw the 9th Doctor disappeared and regenerated to the 10th Doctor. And David Tennant was, and still is, a fabulous Doctor. So I was a little curious. Is this person who's going to play the Doctor now, is he a great Doctor? Or is he a bad Doctor? So I decided to find out on the internet. And then I found out that there was episodes on the internet with him. So I downloaded it and I burned it on DVDs. And then put it on the DVD player and watched them. And it felt good to watch David Tennant. He was an awesome, amazing Doctor. He's my favorite in the new era. Yeah. Christopher Eccleston, though, well, he was a good guy as well. He played the Doctor in his own way, with his own personality, because the Doctor has different personalities. Like Tom Baker plays the Doctor as Sherlock Holmes, the great detective back in the 1800s. So Tom Baker plays in one episode that in the day he played a detective inside the Doctor Who episode. And he was investigating this doll. It was Chiang or something. In that episode, it was 6 parts, I believe, 4 or 6 parts. Him and his new companion, Leah or Lena or something, they were in a time that something was going on in China or Japan or something down there. So there was this doll and a man who have this doll, and the doll is alive. So if you haven't seen it, it's called Chiang or something. That episode was a little bit, as you say, like Sherlock Holmes, great detective of all time. So that episode was good. It was a little creepy. It was a little creepy and a little scary sometimes, but it was a good episode. And Robots of Death, you see Leah or Lena and the Doctor, played by Tom Baker. They were coming to this planet, and on this planet this was a big machine, and that machine was operated by humans because they lived inside the machines. And then they have servants, robots. And one day the robots got evil. They started killing people. And people died all over. And the Doctor and his companion wanted to find out what's really happened. So if you haven't seen the episode, please go and see Robots of Death. And that episode is in season number 14, who are going to be released very soon on Blu-ray. It's not, you don't have to wait a long time for it. It's going to come out very soon, in 2020. One of the episodes are in there. And also the episode with Chiang I talked about before, it's also in there. And Sarah Jane's last episode, called The Hand of Fear, it's going to be released on Blu-ray very soon. And Elizabeth Sladen, she played in lots of TV shows through the years. Back in the day, in the 80s, she played a role in another TV show called Dempsey and Makepeace, if you haven't seen that yet. But that's a police show. It's all about a woman called Makepeace and this guy called Dempsey. Dempsey is a tough cop from New York, and he wants to do the job in his own way. He wants to do, he wants to shoot bad guys. He loves to shoot bad guys. So if you haven't seen that show, it's fantastic. It's a great show about a relationship between a woman and a man, as you've seen before. But Dempsey was sent to London, and there he teams up with Makepeace, a beautiful woman, and they didn't get along at first, but later on they find a chemistry, they find friendship, and then they come along. But in other episodes of Dempsey and Makepeace, they gets in trouble and they get shot, and you have to see the show because that show was awesome. It lasted 3 seasons, but I hope that the show will come on TV again, that they will show it in the reruns. But I wouldn't like if they make a remake of that show with other people. No, I don't like that. So some TV shows and some movies who was released from many years ago, they're gonna come out now in the remake, like MacGyver back in the 80s, and now in 2000 they released a new remake of the show. But I saw only 2 seasons of that show, and this is what my opinion is. I didn't like it at all. No, I hated it. Yeah, the new show I hate, but the old show from 1980s I like very much, because I got the entire show back in the 80s on DVD. So that's one of my favorite shows with MacGyver, because Richard Dean Anderson is, if you don't believe it or not, he is the original MacGyver. Yeah. If you haven't seen the show, go and see it. Richard Dean Anderson is awesome, amazing in that show. And then he released another show back in the 90s called Stargate SG-1. And then in that show he played a different character in the military. So he lost his son for a couple of years ago, because his son was playing with a weapon, a gun, and then accident happened. So his son shoot himself with that weapon, and many years has passed, and Jack O'Neill, that's his name in this story, he could never forgive himself about this, so he want to spend lots of time alone because of it. And one day he got people over from the military who wants him to join them, because they have a new project in order called the Stargate. And he wasn't special impressed of it at first, but then they convinced him to join, so he joined them. And with Daniel Jackson on the planet, as you see in Stargate with Kurt Russell, that's the first episode movie of Stargate. And also they have Samantha Carter on the team as well. And Samantha Carter and Jack O'Neill and Peter Jackson. No, Daniel Jackson. Sorry. I combined Daniel with Peter. Sorry. They started to be a team, SG-1. So they have to go to this planet and investigate, because they are goal people on the planet. Very evil, very bad guys. And later on, they will get a new companion, a new friend who will join them. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the show Stargate SG-1, please go and see it. It's awesome, amazing. Lots of action scenes and great stories. And it's also a space story, because some episodes are in space, because they go through the Stargate, visiting different worlds, different planets, get some friends, they get some enemies. So go and see it. They are out on DVDs, or you can find it on Blu-ray, or you can find it on videotapes, if you can find it. So now we're going to go back to Doctor Who. Sorry, I lead you on a different road. Doctor Who was and still is one of my favorite shows. And I have many favorite TV shows through the years. So I'm going to come back to those shows later. So Doctor Who was the first show that I watched with Tom Baker back in the 80s. We got a new TV channel back then called the Super Channel. Yeah. If you haven't seen the Super Channel, well, it's no more. In the 90s, it changed to NBC Super Channel. And then they send only talk shows and news back in the 90s. And they quit sending TV shows. So back in the 80s, when the Super Channel was a great channel to watch, I watched Doctor Who, Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor, and Sarah Jane Smith. Those were travel in time, back in time and front, and they have great adventures. They meet the Daleks, they meet Cybermen, they meet Cygons. Cygons was first introduced back in the 70s. I believe it was the first or the second season with Tom Baker. And back then, Cygons was only in one episode. And in that episode, it was 4 parts. And that's the only one we saw them in. So later on, back in 2013, we got Cygons back in the 50-year special. And that was the second time we saw the Cygons. And then 3 years went by till the 12th Doctor shows up, and season 10 of New Era. Then we see Peter Capaldi in 2 parts of the Cygons. Yeah, they come back in 2 parts, and then there were evil Cygons who hunt down other Cygons, who are nice, who wants to live with humans because they changed into humans. So the bad Cygons, they want to kill and destroy every nice Cygons. So in that episode, you see Clara, the first companion of the 12th Doctor. She was become evil. Not the real Clara, but the Cygon. They changed into Clara to trick the Doctor. So at the end of that episode, the first part, it was a cliffhanger. You see that Clara has a bazooka, a rocket launcher, if you will. And she pointed it to the plane where the Doctor was. So, if you want to know what really happened in the second part of that episode, you have to go back in time to get season 10. And that episode was awesome, amazing, exciting, and yeah, lots of great stuff happened in that episode. So Peter Capaldi left us at the end of season 10 in a Christmas special, and in that Christmas special he met up with the first Doctor, who was played by David Bradley, who also played William Hartnell in a movie called Space in Time or something. He played William Hartnell in that movie, and that movie is based on William Hartnell's life. And when the time in that movie, it was a documentary movie. It was the time that William Hartnell played the Doctor. And William Hartnell will be missed because he got fans all over the world. People loved him in Doctor Who, and people loved him in other TV shows, other movies, as he did back in the day. And then we have Patrick Troughton. He will also be missed because he passed away a little later on. He played also a great Doctor. He played a little bit a funny Doctor, a little bit a clown Doctor. But he was a great Doctor. He has many great episodes. And then we have John Pertwee, who is the third Doctor. He also will be missed because he passed away after 3 years after Patrick Troughton. So those three Doctors who started it all is gone. So the only thing we have of them is the movies and the TV shows and the interviews. So if we want to see them, we can put the DVD or video or, and listen to them and see them on TV. And the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker, he is also old now. He has white hair, I believe. Yeah. He played a part in the 50 years special. At the end of the episode, when you see Matt Smith talking to this guy in the museum. You probably don't recognize him, but I did. That was Tom Baker. He has a little part in that episode. Tom Baker is one of my favorite Doctors from the old days. And the new days, as now, the new Doctor in those days now is David Tennant. is one of my favorite in the new era. But all of the doctors who played the doctors from the 60s till 2020, well, they played the doctor in different ways because they have different personalities. Tom Baker has a personality as a detective, and Christopher Eccleston has the personality of a bad guy, a tough bad guy, a badass, if you will. David Tennant he played the Doctor in a different way. Well, I have to see those episodes again to find out which Doctor he played. As a bad guy, a badass, or a tough guy, or something. So I have to find out. So, this episode that I do now is just a intro, a promotion, if you will. It will be on YouTube, and sorry, I talk. Actually, I'm going to talk about Doctor Who. So, let's talk about Doctor Who. In this episode that I'm going to do very soon, I'm going to talk about the second episode called The Daleks. And the Daleks is a continuation from An Earthly Child. When you see the end of part 4, you see it ends with a cliffhanger. Then you have to see the Daleks because they continue in the Daleks. So each time you see the first and second Doctor, those episodes, you see a cliffhanger at the end of the episode. So you have to watch. So in Enemy of the World with Patrick Troughton, all the parts has been found, all 6 parts. There was some parts of that episode who was lost, but now they found every part of that episode. So it wasn't a reconstruction, it wasn't animated at all, because if they didn't find the episodes, Enemy of the World maybe would be animated, but it wasn't. So at the end of the episodes, you see the Doctor and the Salamander, the bad guy, they fight, and then Salamander was thrown out of the TARDIS and into the time vortex. And then episode stops, and then the continuation in the Web of Fear. And this episode, the Doctor meets an old enemy. You know, the snowman from another episode? Sorry. That episode was lost. They are only Adorable Snowman was only one part who exists, and that part you can find on a 3-disc DVD box called Lost in Time, and in that collection you can find Adorable Snowman, and you can find the Faceless Ones part 1 and 3. You can also find Dalek's Master Plan in there as well, the episodes Who Survived, and lots of other episodes, great episodes, and other things, and also on that DVD you can find little clips of the episodes who didn't make it. Yeah. Power of the Daleks, you can watch little clip on the DVD. And there are some reconstruction of episodes. But I don't like the reconstruction episodes when you hear the sound and you only watch a still picture. As you take it with your camera, you take one picture at a time, and then you see it with sound. Well, I don't like that. I like it when Doctor Who is regular episodes, when you see the Doctor and the companions and the people who are in the episode moves like we do. So that I like. And the animated, some episodes are animated, like Power of the Daleks, who was released a couple of years ago. And that episode was also animated. It was 6 parts of that episode, and all of the episodes were animated. And now, very soon, in next month, in March, March, sorry, we will get the Faceless Ones, 3 discs, but they animated all 6 parts. Why? Do you know that why they animated all the parts? There are 4 parts that's missing. So part 1 and 3 are let me say it again. Part 1 and 3 exists, but part 2, 4, 5, and 6 were lost. So why do they animate all episodes? They could animate only 2, 4, 5, and 6, and let the other episodes be as they are. So in Faceless Ones, you see the Dr. Patrick Troughton and Jamie, and there's also a girl in the story, but I don't remember her name. But the Doctor and the companions, they were coming to this place where there was a plane there, a couple of planes, and this is airport. Sorry, airport. It was a little different to say. So they come to an airport in another time, and on that airport there are some mystery going on. So the Doctor and the companions want to know what's really going on here. So they investigate, and they found out that it's aliens who are behind this. So if you want to know what really happened at that airport, please watch the Faceless Ones. And that episode is going to be released very soon, in a couple of weeks. Yeah, in a couple of weeks, in March, it will be released on DVD, 3 discs, DVD, and 3 discs Blu-ray. I have ordered the Blu-ray and the DVD version because I want the Doctor also on DVD and Blu-ray. But soon I'm gonna get the first videotape of Doctor Who. Yeah, my first original video. And that's another story, because that's the story I'm gonna talk about later. The second episode I got on DVD with Tom Baker was Robots of Death, as I mentioned earlier. That was the second episode I got on DVD. So I got the second and the fourth Doctor. And it went a couple of years. And then I decided to, when I got internet, I found out that you can download episodes of Doctor Who. And I did. I found out how I'm going to do it. So I have a DVD player who burns DVDs. So I download a couple of episodes with Tom Baker, and I put it on DVDs. So all of those DVDs I have with Tom Baker isn't bought in stores, no. Some episodes is downloaded from the net, and some episodes, the rest episodes, is bought in stores, and also on Zenon or Platinum Company. So I downloaded a couple of many episodes that I found on the internet and burn it on DVDs and print out covers. So I'm going to show you maybe some other time how much DVDs I got. I got lots of it. I hope I got all of them. And now I collect Blu-ray. You can find season 23, 26, season 10, I believe, and 18 and 12 on Blu-ray. And also you can find the first episode with that John Pertwee called Spearhead from Space. I hope I said that right. You can also find that episode on Blu-ray. And that was the first Blu-ray episode of the classic Doctor Who. Yeah. So John Pertwee was the first one who had one of his episodes on Blu-ray. So also from the classic era we had Doctor Who the movie with Paul McGann, and on that DVD we have two Blu-ray discs, and on one of them you can find the short episode with Paul McGann he did in 2013. That episode has the Sisterhood. You remember the Sisterhood from Brain of Mobius? Yeah, they're back in that short episode, and they convinced the Doctor to change. So he changed his appearance, and in that short episode we have a special guest star, John Hurt, who passed away a couple of years later. John Hurt played also in one of those Aliens movies back in the late 70s with Sigourney Weaver. You remember? He was a great actor, but I haven't seen much of him in movies now. I only saw him in Alien and in Doctor Who. So that was a sad moment when I heard about that he passed away. So he will be missed. And there are some audiobooks with him that was released. So the audiobooks is Doctor Who, the War Doctor, that they released for a couple of years ago, with continuous stories of him. So John Pertwee, wherever you are, we will never forget you. And you brought joy into our lives when we saw you in Doctor Who. And we probably remember you from other TV shows and movies as well. But we will always remember you as the War Doctor. So we will miss you. So yeah, yesterday I heard about a Norwegian singer who also passed away. He was 70 years old, and he has been an artist for many years. He has many songs, great songs. But that's another story. But now back to Doctor Who. Sorry, I lead you on a different road. This Doctor Who episode that I'm going to talk about very soon is the Daleks. Is the first time the Doctor, Ian, Susan and Barbara meet the Daleks for the first time. So the Doctor and the Daleks wasn't introduced before, no. But when the first time the Doctor meet the Daleks, some strange things happened. And what things happened in that episode? Well, I'm not going to give out spoilers or anything now, but you have to wait a while till I get to that episode. And that episode is going to be the second review of a new show called Doctor Who Reviews that I'm going to do very soon. I don't know when, but probably will be soon. So thank you for listening to my opinions of things and my Doctor Who knowledge. It will be more episodes like this as I talk about Doctor Who. So I hope to see you soon. And if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.